Hello, welcome to BioGrades TV. If you're new here, please subscribe and turn on the notification so you don't miss our next video. History of the Ghana Empire. The Ghana Empire thrived in West Africa from around the 6th to the 13th century. The empire is not connected geographically to the modern state of Ghana, but was located in the western Sudan Savannah region, the modern southern Mauritania and Mali. The Ghana kings residing in the capital at Sale grew very rich with great stockpiles of the gold nuggets only they were permitted to own. Consequently, the reputation of Ghana traveled far to North Africa and Europe, where it was described as a land of gold. The exact foundation of the Ghana Empire is not known. It may have been as early as the 6th century. The period the empire was at its height is considered to be between the 9th and 11th century. The Ghana Empire was mostly comprised of the Soninke people who spoke Mande. The region dominated by the Soninke is often called Wagadu in indigenous oral traditions, or Wangara, the Muslim geographers' term for the Middle Niger. The capital of the Ghana Empire was Sale and was located 200 miles north of modern Bamako, Mali. The Arab traveler al-Bakri, who visited towards the end of the empire's history in 1076 CE, describes the capital as being surrounded by wells and irrigated fields where many vegetables grew. He goes on to state, "The king has a palace and a number of domed dwellings all surrounded with an enclosure like a city wall. Around the king's town are domed buildings and groves and thickets where the sorcerers of these people, men in charge of the religious court, live. In them are their idols and the tombs of their kings." The empire was actually comprised of several collections of villages ruled by a single king. The empire had a well-trained army with cavalry units. The soldiers were paid off the king's gold, which was in abundant supply. Camels available for transportation of goods and people was also an advantage to the empire. With these advantages, the Ghana Empire conquered new territories and got new tributes from subjugated tribal chiefs, monopolizing local and regional trade. The king was an absolute monarch and served as the state's head of justice and religion. Sacrifices and libations were made in his honor. There were strict rules of protocol in his presence, and when he died, his tomb was laid in a sacred grove which no one enters. Al-Bakri described the Ghana king in the following terms. "The king adorned himself like a woman, wearing necklaces and bracelets, and when he sits before the people, he puts on a high cap decorated with gold and wrapped in turbans of fine cotton. Behind the king stand 10 pages holding shields and swords decorated with gold, and on his right are the sons of the vassal kings of his country, wearing splendid garments and their hair plated with gold." The Ghana Empire controlled the central West African trade in the upper valley of the Niger River from the 6th or 7th century. Control of regional trade was a profitable business for the kings of Ghana. Goods were often taxed twice, once they came into the country and again once they left it. In addition to income from passing trade, the Ghana Empire had its own resources, which included iron ore and gold, which were exchanged for luxury goods as fine textiles, beads, copper, and horses brought by Arab traders from the north. Another commodity currency used in Ghana was copper wiring. The kings of Ghana demonstrated their supreme status by prohibiting anyone else but themselves from owning gold nuggets. Merchants had to make do with gold dust. The policy ensured the king could control the gold market. Islam was spread in the region by Muslim merchants as they came into contact with local traders and the elite of urban areas. Leaders may have reasoned that adopting the religion, or at the least tolerating it, would be favorable for trade. However, there is no evidence that kings themselves converted to the Islamic faith. On the contrary, Ghana's capital at Kombi-Sale was made up of two distinct towns from the mid-11th century. One side was the Muslim area and had 12 mosques, while the other, just 10 kilometers away and joined by many intermediate buildings, was the royal residence with many traditional shrines and just a single mosque for visiting merchants. This division showed the continuance of indigenous animist beliefs alongside Islam. The first stage in the decline of the Ghana Empire started in the mid-11th century CE. In 1076 CE, the capital was overrun by the Almoravids of North Africa. The Ghana Empire never really recovered thereafter. The empire began to fall apart in the 12th century CE. The decline took form when other competing trade routes opened up for the east and when the climate became dry for an extended period, thereby affecting agricultural production. The rulers of Ghana did not help matters too, as the empire was weighed down by a string of civil wars. Meanwhile, many rebellious chiefs took the opportunity afforded them by a weak central government to declare themselves independent of the empire. One such example was Tekror in the western Sudan region, which controlled the Senegal River and which had even allied itself with the Almoravids. The kingdom of Soso turned out to be the biggest beneficiary of the crumbling Ghana Empire, aided by the collapse of the Almoravids in the mid-12th century CE. However, the Soso was only a short-lived kingdom as their king Sumanguru was defeated by Sundiata Keita in 1235 CE. Sundiata also took over the old Ghana capital in 1240 CE, and he would go on to found the Mali Empire, which was the largest and the richest empire yet seen in Africa. The Ghana Empire declined from the 12th century CE following drought, the opening up of trade routes elsewhere, civil wars, and the rise of the Soso Kingdom and subsequently the Mali Empire. What have we missed out of this history? Let's know in the comment section. Will it be ridiculous to subscribe to our channel? If no, please like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel.